Welcome back to Cheese La Vida. Nathaniel, who was your favorite rapper around 2010?
Earl, Sweatshirt, and Tyler, the Creator.
So explain to me why you don't like some rap songs.
What do you mean some? Do you mean like certain ones?
That's what the album's called.
I
remember you said that's a dumb title.
It is a dumb title.
You really hated it that much you don't even remember the title of the album.
Honestly.
We just listened to it. We just got done listening to it. And for everyone wondering, I'm sorry I got to this a little late. Nathaniel's probably the hardest man to get to commit to a date to actually do this. Okay. So, back to the album.
It was ass.
Disclaimer.
Whoa! It was ass. Just straight. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Earl Sweatshirt dropped a hot pile of ass in front of us. And
now, this is getting widespread acclaim. People are loving this album.
Yeah.
Why do you hate it?
Same people that are fucking telling the world that Tekashi 6ix9ine needs to be let out of prison. The same people that are saying they're the future rap. Lil Pump. Those are the people that are giving it widespread acclaims. You know?
Why aren't you?
Because it's ass.
Why is it ass?
That's not Earl Sweatshirt, bro. I don't know where he came up with that. He wasn't even rapping. He might as well have been not talking at all.
Why?
Because it's ass, dude. The lyrics are booty.
What do you mean?
The beats are trash.
Really
They're all over the place. They don't transition properly. I see what he was trying to do. He was trying to make a poetry album. It's simple. He had his dad on there.
He wanted to continue his legacy.
That's fine. It's 2018, 2019, bro. Save that shit for something else, dude. I mean, if you made an album for yourself and to pass on to your father's legacy, that's fine. But you're not. Your father, unfortunately, passed away. That's not your legacy. That was his. Make your own legacy. You're going to make a poetry album? Is that what you want to be now, as a poet? That's dumb. Your dad was a poet. You're a hip-hop artist. Big difference.
He doesn't want to be viewed like that, though.
A hip-hop artist?
Yeah.
Then he shouldn't make music. You don't get to choose what your genre is. If you're a hip-hop artist, you're a hip-hop artist. You might take pieces of inspiration from other genres, rock and roll, rap, jazz.
Mostly jazz in this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mostly jazz.
But you're a hip-hop artist.
Odd samples.
I hate when people are like, oh, I'm not a hip-hop artist. Okay, so you're systematically damaging the culture of hip-hop right there by doing that. I'm not a hip-hop artist. Then what are you doing? Why are you selling records as hip-hop and making money off it?
Why are you rapping?
Exactly. If you're not a hip-hop artist, just like fucking Post Malone. He said it twice, and he has never said it since. I'm not a hip-hop artist. Yes, you are. You're a hip-hop artist who uses a lot of different genres, jazz, rock and roll, but you're still a hip-hop artist no matter how many times you say it.
And you think Earl's rapping was ass? That's why you don't like it?
I'm
trying to gather
it didn't make
what
sense.
you're saying
choppy.
And connect it. Okay.
It was chopped. I honestly might as well have been listening to a mumble rapper not following a beat. I could have been listening to Blueface.
Now I will agree that his flow, he definitely
there was no flow. He was talking.
It. Yeah, there was a lot of monotonous
bullshit
rapping.
You know what? I'd consider it rap, but it's not hip hop.
I rather like this album.
That's fine.
There's a lot of interesting sounds on here, and you didn't like it?
I'm not trying to listen to interesting sounds. I'm trying to listen to a hard beat and some hard fucking lyrics about some real shit.
Now, see,
I'm not trying to listen to you talk over 13 different guitars, 12 different drums, 16 different things. I'm not trying to listen to that. I'm not trying to listen to a fucking woodpecker hitting something that you took on the recording and put it on there. But he didn't do that. I'm just using that as an example. I'm not trying to listen to that, bro. I'm trying to hear Earl fucking Sweatshirt, not Earl.
So, he's actually made statements where he's basically disowned everything he's done with Odd Future. Mm-hmm. And full disclosure, I was a huge Odd Future fan.
Okay.
You could call me a stan.
Right.
We went to the Royal Oak concert in 2011.
Greatest thing ever.
Second time they were in Michigan. First time they got hit with a bottle. Didn't come back for a fucking year.
First and last concert I ever went to.
Really?
Never gone to another concert.
Why?
Nothing's appealing to me. Nothing has been that appealing to me since Odd Future.
How can I even convince you to review music with me if you don't even listen to anything?
I listen to music. That's why I think that was ass.
It seems
You
like
could put
you
Eminem in
have
front of me,
very
right?
strict-
You could put Eminem in front of me right now, and I'm going to tell you he's ass.
Right now?
Right now. You could put multiple rappers that 4 years ago, no ill will would come out of my mouth about them. But now, they're all ass. Go ahead, name one hip-hop artist. Just one, besides Earl right now, and Eminem.
Well, you don't like Earl, apparently, now.
I do like Earl, but I can't fuck with this, dude. Is he trying to go on a woke perspective of life?
Yeah.
And that's dumb, dude.
It's all introspective lyrics. It's honestly just stuff like I would make.
I hate those. That's different, though. I fuck with the shit you make.
Because
There's been some shit.
do you people hear the bias?
You're my boy. But there's some shit that I don't like that you've done or didn't make sense, and I've told you. If Earl was here right now, I would sit him down and be like, bro, this is ass. Yeah, you don't have to fuck with Odd Future and just disown everything you did, but I need Earl. I need the guy who was told, who was compared to fucking Tupac, who could have been the next Tupac. This was what a reporter said back in it was 2010, dude.
It was probably like
He dropped his
2011.
mixtape. Or whatever when he dropped his mixtape.
Well, that came out in 2010.
So he was compared to be... He was
compared to some greats very early on. He was 16.
Yeah, dude, and he was told... And they said that he was going to be the next Tupac.
Tyler was on record as saying, I've never heard anyone as young as him rap like that.
Yeah, dude. What he did was ass, bro. I'm not about this woke perspective of music. You could have points and values in your music, but I don't want you to be this like you're trying to be some cosmic being, like you see better and more perspective than us. That's being an asshole. That's literally being the definition of a suburban white kid who has a Jaguar that his dad bought. I don't like that. You're looking at the world as one-sided. I don't fuck with that.
He's definitely come out and said, if you fuck with me because I rapped about raping people when I was 15, 16, fuck you, don't listen to me.
That's fine. I don't fuck with his lyrics on this. His beat, his flow, his melody, none of it. It was ass.
You prefer...
Back in the day, I fucked with the beats.
You prefer that stuff. Well, Tyler made the beats back then. Earl's making all the beats now.
That makes sense. So I fuck with his style back in the day. Okay, I'm gonna be unbiased.
Razor sharp lyricist rapping about beating people up and stuff like that.
Forget his lyrics.
Or being rowdy.
Forget his lyrics for a minute.
Or just being anti-social.
I fucked with the beats. I fucked with the style. I fucked with the flow, the melody, everything. His transition from word after word, his dialogue, the way he used other words with different meaning. That's a wordsmith. I'm not talking about what he said about women or what he did or what any of that. I don't care.
You don't care about the stories and the content?
No, dude. No,
you just care about the craft of stringing words.
I mean,
together.
if you got some hard lyrics to go along with it, that helps. But his craft, he's completely forgotten about it and left it behind. I hope this album fails. I really do. This is bullshit, dude. And to sit here and say that at this point, you might be hot in the underground scene, but how are you gonna sit here and say you're not fucking Eminem? You're not Jay-Z. You can't sit here and say, if you don't like my music, don't fuck with me. Oh, okay. That worked out well for Eminem.
Not at all.
It didn't work out at all.
Well, that's why Earl's kind of taken this approach, I suppose, then.
Okay, that's fine. If you want to be that 2019 edgy woke person, go ahead. I won't be a fan about it. I listen to Denzel Curry. Denzel Curry, the way he transitioned from his life on and in the streets with his music and has taken it to a different perspective and has that woke sensibility, but doesn't forget where he's from and still brings me them bangers. That's how you do it. He just kind of fucking, it's like a dead fish, came up on shore and flipped over and baked in the sun. Denzel Curry came out the water, grew gills, and goes back and forth.
So Shattered Dreams didn't do it for you, the first song.
No.
That was pretty much the mission statement of the album for me. Like, if you didn't like that song, nothing past this is going to do it for you. I told you that right off the jump.
The lyrics weren't bad. I'm not going to be biased, but the song, none of this was good.
Why is that?
It just wasn't, dude. I'm not saying people shouldn't take risks and try different things, but you're Earl Sweatshirt, dude. I'm hot, bothered astronaut jacking off while watching buffering vids of Asher Roth eating applesauce.
Well, how about this one?
I mean, the way he spin that.
How about this one? No sit-up, but it's crunch time. Shooting in the clutch. The midsummer sunshine found me on my ones. Face dripping, hate swimming through your bloodlines. Motherfuck the judge, same going to the one time. That was on the first track. Now, you said...
It's not as hot.
You couldn't even hear him, though. And I understand that. The production may have not done it for you because he was mumbling. But I'm trying to tell you that this man is still bringing bars.
No, I'm not. That's why I'm saying the lyrics weren't bad. The lyrics are booty.
The lyrics are booty.
I'm just not fucking with it. His delivery, the way he does things is different, and I could feel it. I could smell it. I could sense it.
He was always kind of monotonous, though.
No, he wasn't.
I'm a hot and bothered astronaut.
You don't have to talk about raping women for me to fuck with your shit. You don't have to talk about killing or doing drugs for me to fuck with your shit. I need that energy, but you don't need those lyrics. You come at me with some fucking
So you
hot
would have
shit.
preferred if he had rapped it like how I just said it, rather than the kind of mumbling behind the production that he did on the first song.
Yeah, he went in his closet with some foam on the walls. No hold bars, bro. I'm being super critical about everyone. It's 2019. You guys think that you're these... Everybody. It doesn't matter. Actors, rock stars, hip-hop artists. I'm going after everybody. I don't care who you are, what you've done for society. No holds bars, bro. I'm breaking a beer bottle and coming for the throats. Wasn't a good album.
Did anything stand out to you?
No.
Can you name any of these songs? That's not a good sign.
It's not.
Were you even paying attention?
I was. Nothing grabbed me. Nothing pulled me where I was like bobbing along with each song like I usually would. Like I said before, I'm not being biased. His lyrics were good, but the production
Can you give me a line? I've listened to this album a few times.
I've only listened to it once. For me to name like an actual like lyric would be difficult.
Were you paying attention?
I was. The line about he keeps the spliff rolled, the way he transitioned in that, or the blunt rolled or whatever it was. I forgot what song it was.
I think it was the fourth track.
Yeah, so...
Or perhaps the fifth.
You know what? I won't be
100%
100% biased. I think the fourth and the sixth, I like the transitioning a little bit better than I do the whole song, just the way he did things. But overall, this would get like a solid 4 out of 10 from me.
Well, I gave Radiohead a 4.5 for Pablo Honey. By the way, if you haven't read the title, we're going to give you another Radiohead review in a little bit.
Right.
But I gave that album like a 4.5. And you hated this album, and you're going to give it a 4.
It's because I got respect for him. I don't want to. People have bad albums. And honestly, millions of people might disagree with me and say I'm just a hater. That's fine. People don't like the truth. They'll sit there and... You know, he's appealing to these edgy kids now who think they're fucking woke. I don't like that. I don't like the sensibility of being a woke human being. You're not woke. You don't know what's going on. You think you know what's going on, but you don't.
Are you upset by that crackers piling in to rape the landline on the Mint?
Absolutely not, because I fuck with Denzel Curry. And he talks about white people all the time. So, I'm not even gonna... there's no point of even bringing that up.
Okay, I'm just asking because I was watching you when he said it, and you gave a little peek up, and then you went back to your phone.
Because, I mean,
and I'm
not going to sit here and diss it. I mean, Why would I sit there and diss it? Is it wrong?
So
If you got a talent...
That's why I don't understand why you hate this album as much as you did. Right off the jump, I thought you'd appreciate the lo-fi effort that Earl was putting in with the bars.
I don't like that shit. I don't like quietness. If I'm listening to music, I don't want to hear quiet. The only person that I will justify that for is Prince. Anytime he was soft-spoken coming into a lyric, there was so much energy behind it, you could still feel it. You didn't even have to hear it. I can't fuck with mumble rap. I can't fuck with this wannabe gangster shit. I can't fuck with it, dude. It's dumb. I can't fuck with this woke sense of reality like people know more than everyone else. It's dumb. And to be quite honest, I'm not going to fuck him over. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. I think a couple songs on there were decent. Maybe I need to listen to it again. But it's a no for me. It's not appealing. I'm not going to pay $20 for this.
Can you even tell me what songs you liked? I'm going to be honest. I've listened to it multiple times now. It's 25 minutes long. You can listen to it like 3 times in one day.
It's short.
It's very short. I didn't really like it that much the first time I listened to it.
Is this an album or a mixtape?
It's an album.
This is
mixtapes are dead, bro.
This might as well be a mixtape.
Mixtapes aren't a thing anymore because everything's free with streaming.
3 and 6. Cold Summers and On the Way.
Oh, okay. You're looking at the track list. Doing
like
work for me now, huh?
Everything's a minute.
Yeah, everything's short. I think The Mint's the longest song.
Lucy, 1 minute. This is a mixtape. I don't even know why he dropped this as an album. He could have dropped a mixtape, brought us some heat, and then dropped this album as a poetic, artistic piece, and I would have fucked with it. But he just, after... What was the album he dropped before this?
I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. I have that on vinyl. I like that album. You liked that album at the time.
I do. Why, how long ago did that drop? What?
That was 2015.
Okay, so what is it right now?
2018, 2019.
4 years? 4 years?
3 years.
Oh, okay. So 3 years since he's dropped anything. He's going to go ghost on us for another, I don't know, year and a half. And drop some heat on us. And then once he does, I'll tell you right there.
I'm going to be honest with you. I had to listen to this a few times to appreciate it. The first time was cool. Interesting sounds. I like that stuff. Played it again. I started to catch more of his lyrics. And I was like, oh shit. And then I realized, now, I don't know if maybe I just hear music a little differently, as pretentious as that sounds, but I started to catch more of his flow and how he was going off of the instrumentals, which I agree seemed rather all over the place at first, but then I was like, oh, that's why he did that. Now, some people just aren't going to enjoy that, and I honestly am shocked that it's getting the reviews it's getting, because I honestly think people make music like this all the time now. So it's shocking to me that it's like getting these great reviews, because Earl himself said, fuck a classic, this is a good album, listen to it. And you say it's shit, I can see why you think that. I'm really, truly not upset with your opinion. I just am a little surprised is all, because you didn't like it, and I thought you'd kind of get where he was going at with it.
Let me hit you with this. This is why, this is how I want people to know that I'm not being biased to his music. Tyler, the Creator. The shit he's doing now, fuck with it. Flower Child.
Flower Boy.
Flower Boy. I thought that would have been a better name, but I guess I'm not the fucking artist putting it together. Flower Boy, I fuck with it. It's got that weird erratic shit on there. But Tyler the Creator, not, hey guys, I'm Tyler.
Yeah, he still said some off-the-wall outlandish stuff.
Yeah, but it's still...
That's Tyler at his core. He's going to try to say something to make you be like, did he just say that?
Yeah, and that's fine.
And but I guess I see where you're going,
he's
because...
still got that erratic, I'm woke flow, and I fuck with it. But this, no.
I get where you're going, because Earl, when he first came out, I was like, oh shit, wait till this guy's like 23, 24, 25. We're going to get like an insanely great album. We're just going to get bars and hot beats because people want to fuck with this guy because he's going to be spitting his ass off. And here we are. And, you know, Doris, after he came back, was fine. It was okay. Some people were upset with it at the time because he didn't do what I just said. Everyone wanted him to be rapping his ass off. And he did to a certain degree, but he kind of scaled back and tried to give us songs. And then Odd Future broke up. I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. He retreated, did more of the lonely, depressed, inside the house stuff. And it was cool, but there was still like some type of contemporary sounds to it. The beats were not anything you wouldn't hear from like a SoundCloud rapper or a cloud rapper at the time. And now we got this. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna come back with some heat, some straightforward, like just bars. And he just seems to keep further sinking into this depressive state.
He's making music for himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not making music for the general public or the people. He's making it for himself. That's not your job. That's fucked up to say, but that's not your job. You're an artist. You've brought shit into this world that people like to hear. And like I said, it sounds fucked up. I feel the same way with actors, directors, anybody who does anything artistic. If you offer something to the world and be like, oh, I don't want to bring it out anymore, and you throw a fucking temper tantrum, that's dumb. It's not about you. It's about the outcome. You don't matter. The end goal is what matters. And if you're just making shit for you, you might as well not release and sell it. That's how I feel about it. Now you're just looking like an idiot selling shit because, oh, I thought this was great. I made it. Okay, well, you know, God made us, and look how we turned out fucked up, so.
Now, Radiohead went for a similar thing in their second album with The Bends. Do you think they went at it with a different approach than what Earl did?
No.
Because, I'm going to be honest, Planet Telex was recorded when Tom York was drunk and high after a concert. He was laying on the ground, and they recorded it like that.
Well, I guess if that helps with the melody and everything else, sure.
So I don't know if that's an excuse. If that's
I didn't even know that. I really did not know that.
This man was cross-faded.
Did not know. That's dope. Cool. Whatever people want to do to, make their day go by, I'm cool with it. I don't got a problem. Whether that had effect on the lyrics, maybe. Did it have effect?
Everything is broken. It should.
It probably affected the lyrics, which I don't always 100% look at in a song. Like I said before, the melody, the transitioning, the overall delivery.
Well, Earl's album didn't really have melodies.
It didn't have much besides him talking over it and a couple, sounds thrown together in a loop. But this, definitely enjoyed it. Just for the overall aspect of it grabbed me. It wasn't much the lyrics, because the lyrics, they're the same thing, just said differently. But definitely this drags me more. It's something that I could sit down and listen to because it appeals to my ears, not just lyrics.
So you agree that all the themes in both albums are pretty similar?
Yeah.
I mean, both these albums have a track called The Bends, and in Radiohead's case, they just made it the title track.
It's the same thing.
But it's the same thing, essentially.
It's the same thing.
It really is.
It differently.
It really is the same thing. It's about depression and introspective lyrics.
Right.
Planet Telex is all about how everything's just fake.
Yeah, but the
actually,
difference to me is they just...
That goes on in Fake Plastic Trees, too. Planet Telex is your depression, follows you everywhere, everything's bullshit. Fake Plastic Trees, everything's bullshit, everything's fake, even the tits.
Yeah.
He used to do surgery for girls in the 80s.
Well.
Everything that Earl's talking about is on this Radiohead album, The Bends. The difference is this came out in 95 when Britpop was the thing.
Yeah. But like I said, I mean, it's the same thing, but just the way they do things is differently. And that's why I like this album over that. And I've been super critical about Radiohead. I did this to their last album. What I did
you tore apart the last album.
What I did
you said it was boring the piss out of you.
Yeah, what I did to Earl's album is the same thing I did to the last Radiohead album. So you know that I'm not being hypercritical, I'm just being honest. I fuck with this Radiohead album. Let me see the track list.
Why do you fuck with this one more than the last one?
Like I said, it's not just the lyrics. You could have a banger-ass beat, great delivery, great everything, and the lyrics could be ass. And I'm still gonna fuck with it because I don't just look at the lyrics. I mean, the lyrics are good. It's the same thing Earl's talking about, but they deliver it differently. They have better sound.
I mean, if we just go off Planet Telex alone, the first song, my favorite song in the album.
If I like the first song, I know for a fact I'm gonna. Whether there's another song on there that I don't like, I'm gonna like the entire album. That's just how I've always been. Yeah, Planet Telex.
I would even say the albums are similar in that regard. There's a lot of similarities between some rap songs and the Bends. If you don't like the first song, I don't know how you can go into the rest of these albums and expect to like it.
Yeah.
Shattered Dreams by Earl, off the rip, is going to let you know what you're going into. Planet Telex.
I'll say this. Music is the same thing over and over and over and over and over again with a different sound.
Yeah.
In my opinion, sound, it could be the only thing that matters. Because you could have music without lyrics. You know what I mean? Beethoven's done it.
Absolutely.
Mozart's done it. You know what I mean? Jazz players have done it. Rock and roll players have done it.
Every
Hip-hop,
film score.
Literally everybody's done it. You know what I mean? And that's the fucked up thing, because that's the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting something to change. You know what I mean? So it makes you crazy that someone drops something, and it's the same shit everyone's talking about, but it sounds different, and it draws you in. Which shows that we also sense things on like a seismic level. We could feel the way they say things and come out and make music form together. So that's just an opinion.
Is there any songs on here you didn't like? Because I'm going to be completely honest and say the first half of the album, we listened to this on vinyl. Yeah. I have the Bends on vinyl. Nathaniel is literally holding the sleeve in his hand.
Yeah.
He is staring at the physical artwork of that mannequin. He's pulling out the fucking dust sleeve right now, looking at the credits.
Cool vinyl. Cool fucking art too. Little doodles. That's sweet. I fuck with that. I like when artists do it. Tyler the Creator does that. I fuck with that.
I don't think some rap songs is gonna be on vinyl.
No, absolutely not. If you're Kendrick Lamar, vinyl works out. If you're J. Cole, a vinyl works out. Granted, I don't like everybody that has vinyls, but if you got some bangers and you come in with some real heat, Denzel Curry's got vinyls.
Some stuff translate well to vinyl.
Yeah, it's just, and it makes the sound better. Who knows? Maybe if this fucking guy gets a vinyl and it's, and I listen to him there, maybe I'll hear it differently. That's a strong possibility. So I don't know. But as of right now, I think this album, just because of the sound, makes this 10 times better than.
I agree. The production on the album is superior to Earl's.
Yeah, well, he did it in his bedroom.
That's not a subjective take. That's objectively true.
Yeah.
This sounds like a professional recording.
Oh yeah, just so I answer your question, it's probably my least favorite.
The very first song on the second side?
Yeah. And it's not that I don't like it.
I would probably agree.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just probably my least favorite out of all the other bangers.
They all flow into each other.
I fuck with that.
You really? See, the second side is where all the ballads and the slower things are. Because Planet Telex, The Bends, High and Dry, Fake Plastic Trees, Bones, and Just Dreams, they front-loaded that album.
Well, it's not a bad thing.
It's not bad. The production definitely sounds a little dated compared to everything released nowadays.
Right.
But if you like music, you're going to listen to this and be amazed. You're going to be impressed. This is Brit pop rock.
Right.
At its finest. Planet Telex's drum fills are comprised of leftover drum fills from the album.
Wow.
Do you know how impressive that is to say, alright, well, here's everything we didn't like that Phil did on the album. Phil's the drummer. Phil Selway. Here's everything Phil did on the album we didn't like. Let's just throw it together.
Right.
and you make the best fucking track on the album. How the fuck does that happen? When does that happen?
I don't even know. I don't even know where to describe this album. This is a good album.
It is.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell you that. You didn't want to believe me because you don't like Radiohead.
I don't. And that's another thing. I hate Radiohead. I fuck with this album. Like I said, people can't be, hypercritical. Like, oh, he's just being a hater. I fucking hate Radiohead, and everyone knows that, especially since the last podcast you did.
If you've listened to the last podcast, which you should.
Yeah, which you should. Check it out, dicks.
Cheese a la vida.
But this is good shit, dude. I'll be honest, when an artist has got some hot garbage coming at us, and then has the audacity to say that I'm not that genre, and then sells it to millions of people in that genre. So it's just dumb, in my opinion, dude.
You don't think Radiohead cheated their fans with this one?
Not with this one. Pablo Honey, they all deserved a kick in the nuts.
So what's different?
It's not that woke music. Even people back in the 90s, dude, were doing that. Pablo Honey was this abstract fucking hippie, oh, I know everything, I popped LSD and acid.
It was grunge, though.
But that's the thing. It was ass. And they still played into that fucking, like...
We know everything?
Yeah.
Well, they did just graduate music college.
Yeah.
I don't remember the school they went to, but they went to a pretty prestigious university for music. They all dropped out. Only one member of this 5-piece band actually graduated. Johnny Greenwood, he's moved on to film scores for Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah. I'll say this. People who go to college think they know everything when they know nothing.
That's why I like this album, because it just straight up shows them playing their instruments, doing what they want to do.
Right.
It's 95.
But
There's not really a cultural rock sound. Hip-hop has fully taken over by now.
They do what they want to do, but they still do it for the people.
Correct. They make songs for people.
Yeah, they're not doing it for themselves. Even hip-hop back in the day. There was a lot of hip-hop artists, brothers, up-and-comers all over the fucking place. It was the 90s, kid. So listen, some of them were doing it for themselves, and that's rightfully so. A lot of those hip-hop artists grew up in fucking shitholes and wanted to get out of it.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, dude, they wanted to get that bag, dude, and that's fine. But it was a different sense of it, you know what I mean? These are some fucking, white guys that graduated college, had the funds to do this. They started a band. They had their own problems.
They didn't even live in the U.S.
Right. But the thing, right, because, it was back in the day when the fucking England grunge pop rock scene was still
grunge
heavy.
Was an American thing. Radiohead came into the game on that grunge shit and realized that's not who they were. They came in with this album on a more artsy sound, on a more indie sound. They wanted to get more introspective. They got more creative with the production. They played around with their instruments. There's just more going on here than Pablo Honey.
Yeah. And let's bring it back to this. It's not ass either.
No, absolutely not. Fake Plastic Trees, I believe, has an organ in it.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
In the background when they're just strumming along.
Oh, you mean like...
And she wears me
like an actual
out.
organ.
There's an organ. Yeah, they all play instruments. None of these are computer yet. Mm-hmm. I did jump ahead and say Kid A was all computer stuff. But right now, 1995, the Bends, all instruments. They're not there yet. They're just playing their instruments.
I've always liked live orchestra. I don't want to say orchestra because that's wouldn't be... I like live instruments.
I do too. That's why I like this album a lot.
Even in hip-hop. I fuck with live instruments heavy. And you see a lot of old school, new school people using live instruments still with the mix of the computer. I think that's good. Post Malone uses instruments all the time, but he also uses the technology that he has available to him.
I'm going to work on some stuff soon with live instruments.
That'd be cool.
It is what it is.
Yeah. You need them, dude. Sometimes you need to go back to the old school.
Sometimes the things you can do live, you just can't recreate.
Yeah. That's fair.
So
it's got an original sound to it.
To hear them do this is very pleasing to my ear.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. I like the fact that they're willing to go so depressive, but not that sad like they were on Pablo Honey, where it's just these dirty guitars and they're playing chords without any purpose. They're just wallowing in their own pity.
Yeah. And that's how that music was created back in the day, man.
And that's fine. I like Nirvana for that stuff, but Radiohead never looked good doing that. So to see them go more artsy, handle more of the production side of music, and then retool their instruments, retool the arrangement to the track, and just have more fun with it. I mean, who would even think, like, all right, well, we've got this track, it sounds pretty good, but we're about to go to a Peter Buckley concert, and when they come back from the Peter Buckley concert, they record the vocals to Planetelics. And the lead singer's so fucked up he has to lay on the ground. Like, who would think to do that?
Sounded good.
It sounded amazing.
Yeah.
But who would think to do that?
People that were fucked up.
That's good music.
Yeah.
That's where good music comes from. Pablo Honey was just them going through the motions. The bends is them finding themselves.
Yeah.
The
I can't argue with
dissonance
it.
is there, but there's enough musical theory. As much as these guys went to college and are these pretentious white dudes from England that you want to rag on, at the end of the day, they know how to make a tune.
I'm not ragging on it. I'm just saying
Earl
there's a different
Sweatshirt
style for
didn't really
each
have a tune.
demographic. Even though it might be the same, everybody's got their own issues lined up with their demographic. With that, I wasn't trying to rag on them. So, you know, like I said, every demographic, every race has their own problems to deal with, and that's a fact. So it speaks when you become an artist and you're talking. So they're very depressed. They're very, I don't know what the right wording would be. It's a depressive style of music, but it's wonderful.
Agreed.
It makes you think. And then you got hip hop. You know what I mean?
Typically not.
NWA said it best. People were pissed off that they were coming out with this kind of music. Preferably most white people. And then the black people who were, I don't know what a good word would be, that was siding with white people because they thought that kind of music was ghetto. So NWA said it best. We're just speaking from the lives that we came from. And they're telling the truth. Everything that they talked about in their music, it was truthful. They came from that life. Gangbangers.
Are you trying to say that Earl's not telling the truth? And that's why you like the Radiohead album more?
No.
Where are you going with that?
I don't think he's being... I think he's being truthful about the things he's saying. I don't think he's being truthful to himself, though. That's a personal opinion. Like, he came out and he spoke his mind. He's clearly depressed. His father died. I'd be depressed too. It's a hard time when
he has pressure on himself to make great music.
Exactly, and I think he's trying too hard to do that. So he's not being true to himself.
Whereas Radiohead came off a bad album with, some pressure. Hey, you guys better make some good music or we're gonna drop you. But in the grand scheme of things, if they got dropped, it wouldn't mean anything.
Right.
So they were allowed to make great music.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like I said, it's different for different artists. It's simple as that. It really is. I mean, I may not be coherently saying it, but there's people out there that would understand. They have different pressures than this group of people have different pressures. So Earl has his own pressures. Radiohead had their own pressures. Totally different. So that comes with different obstacles.
But the circumstances allowed different outcomes.
Exactly. Musically, I think their album was better. I think sound-wise, I think their album was better. Earl, he had a team. And that was Tyler. Tyler was the guy doing everything. And you know what? It should have stayed like that. It should have fucking stayed like that. But it didn't. Earl got sent away. He came back. He did his thing for a while. Odd Future broke up because fucking shit was changing. The world was changing. And now everyone's different. You know what I mean? I think it's really affected the team. Odd Future was a team. It's really affected them. Tyler didn't have a dad growing up. He said it hundreds of times. I think Earl, in hindsight at that time, both of them looked up to each other, so they were bringing out some fucking heat because they were bouncing off each other. Then they kind of fell down and, did their thing with clothing and shit and all this stuff, modeling, all different kinds of shit, art, TV shows, and then fucking Loiter Squad flopped. I wouldn't say flopped, I would say I felt like the team didn't put as much effort into it as they should have. They were a bunch of kids owning a fucking TV show. That makes sense. They would kind of dick around and just blow it off. So it flopped on Adult Swim. Could have been a great show. Could have had multiple seasons. That's where I'm just getting at. It's different for each group. And it sucks that he produced that.
Earl has all that shit, and Radiohead just has to deal with the music.
Exactly. So, I can't put the blame 100% on Earl because he did it all on his own. And in my opinion, this is probably his first time doing it 100% on his own. Not saying he hasn't done it before, but he did this 100%. So obviously you're going to have shitty sound quality. You're probably going to try and do as best as you can having like 1,000 retakes. He did it all on his own. He made the beats. He might not be finding himself. And I could have been 1,000 times super critical than I should have. But I'm going to call it as it is. It was ass. He needs to do better.
And Radiohead took a much better approach to largely the same topics. But
yes, but Radiohead, so I'm not being biased here, Radiohead also had a giant fucking company backing them. Also had professional sound studios, all this fucking shit.
5 people to 1.
Exactly. So I'm not gonna say that each side's different. You know what? If they didn't have all that and they had what Earl had, probably would have been lyrically a good album, but in hindsight, it probably would have sounded like shit. So at the end of the day, you got different paths to overcome. They did it. I mean, Earl did it. Just the outcome didn't come out well. Shitty sound, which ultimately made everything shitty in my opinion. You know what I mean? They had good lyrics, great sound. So ultimately, it's the better album. It's like comparing apples to oranges. You know what I mean? They're both good, but one of them tastes better.
Or it's like comparing a red apple to a green apple.
Sure. They're both good, but one's sour. And unfortunately, Earl's album is the sour one. It tastes great. I can fuck with it. It's just sour to me. It could have been better. I don't like the idea of music being made for yourself. Because if that's the case, you shouldn't have released it. Back to Prince. That's how Prince thought. If there was music that he made for himself, he never released it. The man had thousands of fucking songs and movies that he made for himself and never released it. That's an artist. And then the shit he released, it was for the people.
Don't leave me on tears, bro.
It was for the people, bro. I'm telling you. That wasn't for him. Every Purple Rain, that wasn't for him. Fucking
Don't leave me
Little
on
Red
tears,
Corvette,
bro.
that wasn't for him.
Don't leave me on these fucking...
That's simple as that, dude. And you know what sucks, too? Now that he's dead, I'm kind of straying off, they're going to fucking take everything that he's ever worked and they're going to run it into the fucking ground. And I'm really upset. And I'm really upset that he did not plan better for this.
I'm going to call it here. What's your professional rating for Radiohead's The Bends? Because you gave Earl a 4.
8. It was good. Could have been better, just like anything. I'm not going to give them a 10 so they don't have anywhere to grow with. I mean, even though for me personally, anywhere they could grow with if we do another album.
Oh, we will.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to give them a 10 because then there's nowhere to go. They need an 8. I want to
They
do
definitely
another.
have room to grow
Yeah,
still.
Earl, he has 1,000. He's only like what?
Well, Earl is happening right now. The
What
Bends
is he,
came out in
20?
95.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. There's still room to grow for me personally. Listening to
I
Radiohead.
believe Earl is 24.
24. Okay. Yeah. It's got years of room for growth, and I hope nothing but the best. But this album was ass. That's just simple as that.
My professional rating of this album, 7.5. Earl's album, 7.5. I give them both the same. I like the Bends more than some rap songs.
Okay.
I largely agree with most of what you're saying. I just hope Earl gives us a classic sometime soon. But we're going to end that here. Have a great fucking day.
The lyrics weren't bad.
The lyrics weren't bad.
The lyrics